Hey there, and welcome. So let's be real. In a world that's just constantly buzzing and pinging and yelling for our attention, right? Finding a real moment of calm, it feels kind of impossible sometimes. But what if the answer isn't just more silence? What if it's about finding the right kind of sound? That's what we're digging into today, this incredible mashup of AI and sound therapy. It's like a quiet revolution for your own mind.
I love this quote. It just perfectly captures that feeling, doesn't it? Chasing the last ray of sunlight in a storm. That's exactly what it feels like sometimes, that frantic scramble to find a little bit of peace in all the noise.
Yeah, I'm guessing it does. That feeling of being perpetually on. Your brain just refuses to shut down. I think we've all been there. So let's get into why that's happening to so many of us.
All right, first up, let's talk about this core problem, the dilemma of the noisy mind.
And look, this isn't just you imagining things. Our brains are literally struggling against this constant storm of pings and buzzes and notifications. We are just overloaded all the time. Honestly, our brains were never built to handle this much stuff. And that's exactly why finding that real, deep sense of calm feels so rare these days.
Okay, so what if the answer isn't trying to find total silence, which is pretty much impossible, right? What if it's about using the right sound to our advantage? This brings us to a really cool idea, thinking of sound as a conductor.
I want you to imagine your brain is this huge, incredible orchestra. Every part has its role, right? Well, when stress and anxiety hit, it's like the entire violin section suddenly starts playing a completely different song, totally out of sync. It throws the whole performance off.
So, if your brain's the orchestra, what's the conductor? Well, that's where something called binaural beats comes in. It's a pretty wild audio trick. You listen to two slightly different sound frequencies, one in your left ear, one in your right. And what your brain does is it kind of creates a third beat, a phantom rhythm. And it's that rhythm that can gently guide the whole orchestra back into harmony. Okay, so sound therapy isn't brand new, but this is where things get really, really interesting. This is the game changer. What happens when you add AI to the equation? Well, you get precision.
Think about it like this. A generic calming rain playlist on a streaming service. That's kind of like a one-size-fits-all umbrella. Sure, it'll keep some of the rain off, but it's not perfect. Intelligent, AI-driven audio, though, that's like getting a custom-tailored suit. It's not just passive listening. It's actively adapting to you and your body right now.
So how does this actually work on a scientific level? It's a process called brainwave entrainment. Sounds super technical, I know, but the idea is actually something you experience all the time. You know when a song comes on and you start tapping your foot to the beat without even thinking about it? That's it. Your brain just naturally wants to sync up with rhythms it hears. This technology just harnesses that natural tendency to nudge your brain towards a state of calm or even focus.
So how does the AI pull this off? It's a pretty straightforward three-step dance. First, it senses. It reads your body's signals, maybe from your smartwatch, picking up on an elevated pulse. Then it understands. It figures out the context. Aha, you're stuck in traffic. And finally, it delivers. It generates a custom audio track made just for that specific moment. It's not magic. It's just incredibly smart. Okay, that's the tech, but what does this actually mean for you in your day-to-day life? Well, this is where it gets really practical. We're talking about having relief right in your pocket.
And get this isn't some long-term thing that takes weeks to kick in. Early users are saying they feel meaningful relief in just a few minutes. That is absolutely a game changer when you're talking about dealing with stress as it happens.
So what are the tangible benefits here? Well, it means you can reset way faster when that spike of stress or anxiety hits. You can recover better from a totally draining day at work. And the best part? It's accessible right on your smartphone or your watch. It's there when you need it.
Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic. You're late, your pulse is racing, you know the feeling. Now, instead of just stewing in that stress, your car's audio system literally detects it and automatically starts playing a soundscape designed to calm your nervous system down. Right there, in the moment. You're not waiting to de-stress when you get home, you're tackling it head-on.
Now, as cool and exciting as all this sounds, we gotta be realistic. This isn't some magic cure-all. The technology is still pretty new, so it's super important to talk about the caveats and concerns.
So, let's break down what you need to keep in mind. First, everyone is different. What's calming for one person might be super annoying to another. Second, there's no real standard yet. We don't have like a recommended dosage of sound therapy. Third, and this is a big one, data privacy.
These systems are collecting your biometric data. We have to ask where that data is going. And finally, and this is probably the most important point, this is a tool to help, not a replacement for professional medical advice. It's meant to work with other forms of care, not instead of them.
Okay, so keeping all that in mind, let's look to the future. Where is this technology going? What could the future of calm really look like? Well, one area is smarter homes. Picture your living room sensing that a conversation is getting a little tense, and it just subtly changes the ambient sound in the room to help de-escalate things. Kind of wild, right? And then there are emotion-aware systems. We're talking about technology that could actually detect your mood just from the sound of your voice and then give you a personalized audio track to help, right then and there.
And this isn't just about our personal lives. The vision is bigger. Think about this being used in corporate wellness programs to help with burnout. But maybe the biggest goal of all is making sure everyone has access to this, making these tools affordable and available all over the world, not just for a select few.
So at the end of the day, this kind of tech isn't trying to replace our minds. It's about giving us a tool to help us find our own balance. It's about turning the very devices that cause so much of our stress, yeah, I'm looking at you, smartphone, into our allies in the fight for calm. And that leaves us with a final question for you to think about. In a world that is always talking, how are you going to create your own quiet?